Hello. In this video I'm going to show you git stash. And git stash is useful in that situation when you're trying to change branches and git gives you an error, refuses to change branches, and basically tells you that you either need to commit your changes or stash your changes. And sometimes you're in the middle of something and you don't want to commit yet, but you want to change branch. So the only solution at that point is to stash your changes. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you when you need it, how to use it, and how to get back your changes after you stash them, which is kind of important. So let's go to our playground folder. I open the terminal here. I have that awesome potatoes file because we all know I love potatoes. So if I do git status, everything is clean. And now let's say I create a branch, git branch, more potatoes, git checkout, more potatoes. Now I make some changes in my potatoes file. I add sweet potatoes. And if I try now to go back to master, I can, no problem. And this is because master is just the same as when I created the branch. Like nothing changed in master since I created this branch. And I actually took these changes with me because if I look at status, they're still there because I didn't commit this. So they don't belong to the more potatoes branch yet. They're just, yeah, they're there in the workspace, but they're not staged or committed yet. So yeah, let's go back to the branch then. More git. I'm actually going to discard these changes so that I can actually show you when to use stash. So to do that I use git restore potatoes, and if I will lose, it's gone. So no more changes. So I'm going to change it in master. First I'm going to add fried potatoes. Why not? So I add this, I commit, added fried potatoes, and yep. So now I change the master. And I'm going back to more potatoes branch, and of course the fried potatoes are not here because I had the fried potatoes when I was on master and I committed in master. So that commit belongs to master, not to more potatoes. But now in the more potatoes I'm going to try and add again the sweet potatoes. And I'm not going to commit yet, I'm going to try and go to master. And git doesn't like me. It tells me error, your local changes to the following files will be overwritten by checkout. So the changes that I have just done and not committed in my potatoes file would be lost. They'll be overwritten by what's on master. And then it tells me please commit your changes or stash them before you switch branches. So if I want, of course I can commit this and then I can go back to master, otherwise I can stash them. Again, this happens because master has changed since I created this branch. And the contents of the file are different and conflicting. So git just doesn't let you go back. Because otherwise you lose your current changes. Anyways, back. We don't want to commit this, we're going to stash it. So we just do git stash. And that's it. It saves working directory in index state. WIP means this stuff, means work in progress. One more potatoes, blah blah blah. And if I do git status, my working tree is clean. If I look at my file, the changes are gone. Gone! No, not really gone. You can get them back. And this is the cool part. If you do git stash list, you can see a list of stashes. In this case I only have one stash. I've only done git stash once. but if I do multiple times, it will be there. So if I want to get this back, I can use either git stash pop, and this will get my changes back, as you see there on git status, and there they are. In this case, if I do git stash list, it's empty because it took the changes back, got the changes back from my stash, and deleted them from the stash list. But let's try again. If I stashed again, and now git stash list. If I want to get this but not delete, I don't know why I would do that, to be honest. Probably there's a reason, but I just don't know. I could use git stash apply, and then if I do git stash list, the changes are still there on my stash list. I don't know why, but I also got them back. So potatoes, I have my sweet potatoes there. So in this case, you notice that I said which stash I want to get. When I did pop, I did not say like which one I wanted. If it was stash 0 or any other. Well, there's no more, but if there were, it would be like stash at 0, at 1, at 2, and so on. It's stash pop. All it did was it went on. Lost checks. It just gets stash 0. So the last changes that you have stashed, that's the ones it gets if you don't say anything. Now you can also. So I'm going to have this restore the file again, so get rid of those changes. I have them on the stash, so it's fine. It's stash list, and I can actually use pop with an argument if I remember correctly. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. And if I look at stash list, it's empty. So these are the basic commands of stash. You use git stash to stash your changes, and then you use git pop and then the stash number reference, like these parts, to get your changes back and delete them from the stash list. If you don't want to delete them from the stash list, you use git stash apply and then the reference for the stash, and in that case you get your changes back, just like with git stash pop, but they stay in the list, so you can get them back later on. So yep, these are the basics of git stash. I hope you enjoyed. Now you can change branches when git doesn't want you to, and you don't want to commit your work yet.